Good day, everyone. My task today is to discuss my topic entitled Selecting Human Resources. Selection is one of the most important areas of human resources in an organization because getting right people in the right time is critical for business success. Certainly for a business which depends on good people and good performance. The process of selection is very important for an organization that is failing. Improvement may need to come from many sources, but it's difficult to imagine appropriate changes coming without some new and competent people to carry out those changes. Selection is the process of choosing individuals with correct qualifications to fill jobs in an organization. Without these qualified employees, an organization is far less likely to succeed. A useful perspective on selection and placement comes from two observations that underscore the importance of effectively staffing. Hire hard and manage easy. The investment of time and effort in selecting the right people for the jobs will make managing them as employees much less difficult because many problems can be eliminated upfront and good training will make up bad for persons. Placement. The ultimate purpose of selection is the placement or fitting a person to the right job. Placement of people should be seen primarily as a matching process. How well an employee is matched to a job can affect the amount of quality of that employee's work. As a result, the training and operating costs required to prepare the individual to do work will increase. Further, employee morale is an issue because good fit encourages individuals to be positive about their jobs and what they accomplish. Person environment fit. Selection and placement activities typically focus on applicants and knowledge, skills, and abilities, but should also focus on the degree to which job candidates generally match the situation experienced both on the job and in the organization. Psychologists label this person environment fit. In HR, it's usually called in job fit. Fit is related not only to work satisfaction but also to company commitment and the desire to work. Lack of fit between a person's key essays and individual job requirements can be a mismatch. Job performance selection criteria predictors. Effective selection of employees involves using selection criteria and predictors of three criteria. At the heart of an effective selection system must be the knowledge of what constitutes good job performance. Knowing what good job performance looks in a particular job helps identify what it takes for an employee to achieve successful performance. These are called selection criteria. A selection criterion is the characteristics that a person must possess to successfully perform work. This figure shows that ability, motivation, intelligence, and consciousness, appropriate risk and performance, might be selection criteria for many jobs. Determine whether candidates might possess certain selection criteria such as ability or motivation. Employers try to identify predictors of selection criteria, which are the measurable or visible indicators of the positive characteristics or criteria. This portion of the figure shows how job performance selection criteria and predictors are interrelated. If a candidate possesses appropriate amounts of any or all of these predictors, it might be assumed that the person would stay in the job longer and be somewhat more successful. In addition, gathered about an applicant using individual predictors included in application forms, tests, and interviews should focus on the likelihood of what the person will execute on the job competency, once hired so that the factors need to be valid for the purpose of selection. Validity. Validity is the correlation between a predictor and job performance. In other words, validity occurs to the extent that the predictor actually predicts what it's supposed to predict. Several types of validity are used in selection. Most validity decisions are a correlation coefficient, an index number that gives the relationship between the predictor value and a criterion or dependent value. Correlation proof range from -1 to 1 with larger absolute scores suggesting stronger relationship. Concurrent validity. Concurrent validity is one method used for establishing the validity associated with this predictor. Concurrent uses current employees to validate a particular test. Concurrent validity is measured when an employer tests current employees and correlates those scores with their work performance ratings and appraisals. Predictive validity. Predictive validity. To calculate predictive validity, test results of applicants are compared with their subsequent job performance. Job success is measured by assessing factors such as absenteeism, accident errors, and performance appraisal ratings. Reliability. Reliability of a predictor or test is the extent to which it repeatedly produces the same results over time. The selection process. Let's take a look at the selection process. Most organizations follow a series of consistent steps to process and select applicants for job: company size, job characteristics, the number of people needed, the use of technology, and other factors that will cause variation to this basic process. This figure shows a typical selection process. Individuals seeking employment can indicate interest in many ways through a job search process. Traditionally, individuals have submitted resumes by mail or fax or apply it in person, but with the growth of internet recruiting, many individuals now complete online applications regardless of how individuals express interest in employment. The selection process has an important public relation dimensions in the search process. Many employers conduct pre-employment screening to determine if applicants meet minimum qualification for jobs even before they fill out qualifications. The use of electronic pre-employment screening or assessment has grown. Much of the screen utilizer software to review many resumes or application forms received during a recruitment process. Some employers do not use pre-employment screening prior to having applicants fill out an application form. Instead, they have every interested individual complete an application first. These completed application forms then become the basis for screening information, but collecting, storing, and tracking these forms can create unnecessary and significant work. Application forms, which are used universally, can take on different formats. Properly prepared application serves four purposes. 1. A record for the applicant's desire to obtain a position. 2. Providing the interview with the applicant profile information during the interview. 3. A basic employee record. And 4. Can be used for research of the effectiveness of the selection process. Interviewing. Interviewing job applicant is done to obtain additional information and to clarify information gathered throughout the process. This very common selection test is not always the best predictor of future job performance, but is very commonly used. So, it's important for us to understand the best ways to write good questions and structure a positive interview process. Generally speaking, interviews first used as an initial screen and then are used dig deeper initial individuals' knowledge, skills and abilities and past behaviors to predict future job performance. Okay, for the selection test. Any kinds of additional selection tests can be used to select qualified employees literacy test, skill-based test, personality, honesty, integrity test can all be used to assess various individual factors that are important to the job. These are useful tests to allow organization to predict which applicants will likely be most successful on the job. However, selection tests must be evaluated extensively before utilizing as a recruitment tool. Remember, all tools interviewing in any their selection test must be both valid and reliable. For the job offer, a general job offer usually with conditions. Remember, communicating with all job applicants, no matter if you're offering them a position or you're telling them that you've gone a different direction, is very important in the selection process. Your applicants that you don't choose today could become your future job applicants and future hires following a conditional job offer. The background. Background checks are generally conducted. An important issue here is negligent hiring, which occurs when an employee fails to check an employee's background and the employer later injures or harms someone or something in performing job duties. Finally, work-related references from previous employers and supervisors can provide a valuable snapshots of a candidate's background in job characteristics. That's the end of my report. Thank you for listening.